Hey everybody, welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new here, and if you would, let me know what you think of the different decks of cards. I'm just trying some new stuff, trying to get a little different than the Rebel deck, plus I'm running out of Rebel deck. So, we'll get our topic for today, and I'm going to spare you me trying to shuffle them because they're so big. So I'm just going to pick one. And this is the Heal Yourself reading cards. Aw. Number 28, it's love. And yesterday the topic was family and tribe. So today we've got love. And I was talking yesterday about um, how to truly love someone. And sometimes we get that confused because love is not something that when you love someone, your actions can actually damage them. And we talked about that yesterday because when you overgive to someone else and you think it's loving, sometimes that's the least loving thing you could do for that person. And there are other people who, through love, you can help them, you can pull them up, and they blossom. And they just needed that little extra help, that little bit of assistance, but they're trying, and you know they're trying, and you care deeply for them, and you want to see them succeed. If someone is trying and pushing and wanting to grow, absolutely, that's someone who you're investing your time, energy, and resources in, and you see that return on investment because the love that you have for that person, when you see them just coming out of a bad situation and you know that your love for them helped contribute to that, that's beautiful. But when someone uses love as a manipulation to get you to give them what you want, that's codependency. And that's kind of what we were touching on yesterday. And it's such a common relationship dynamic. We don't realize it. We have so many places where we can learn codependency, and because part of it is just our cultural programming about, give, share, be a martyr. The religions, our religious doctrine is, I know Christianity is the one I'm most familiar with, where it's, the widow who gave everything she had meant more than the guy who gave a part of what he had. And she was to be revered. And it's like, no, God, what is she going to eat now? She gave her last two, I forget what they were called back then. But all she had was 2 coins. And she gave her 2 coins to the church. Okay, is the church going to feed her, house her? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the situation. However, don't ever give your last 2 coins to anybody. Ever. That's not loving to you. And love is something that we actually cannot give in an honest, true, agape, unconditional love way until we give that to ourselves, until we learn to love ourselves, because the actions that we take for others, when we don't love ourselves, we create so much negativity in relationships when we think we're doing loving things, but what we're really doing is we're building resentment, we're building anger, we're building frustration. How many people, be honest now, and pardon cricket snoring, how many of you have a scorecard, a relationship scorecard? I know you don't have it written down anywhere, but it's in your head. Well, last week I did the laundry and I ran the errands and he didn't even vacuum. Okay, that's a scorecard. And one of the ways to avoid creating the mental scorecard is to acknowledge that, you know what, last week I had some extra time And I chose to run the errands and do the laundry. Those were my choices. No one owes me anything for the choices that I made because I take responsibility for my choices. Now, if I'm busting my hump and my partner's not doing anything, I'm not going to get resentful. I'm going to tell him about it. Dude, step it up. Because if you don't speak your truth, then it's just you're gonna kill the relationship. But we think we're being loving when we're just nice all the time. Well, not everything can be nice all the time, especially two people sharing lives and responsibilities and things of that nature, even with your child. If you shelter your child and you give them everything they want, you never tell them no, that's child abuse, in my opinion. That's not love. Because if you love them, you want to prepare them for the fact that there's a lot of people in this world going to tell you no. You are not going to get your way, and you're going to have to do stuff you don't want to do. And the more of an attitude you have about it, the worse things are going to get. That's why I took your Xbox, and I took your favorite jacket, and I took to help you learn this lesson. Because I would rather, as a parent, give my child a true perspective of how life was going to go, and I'd explain it to him. We'd sit down and have conversations about it. I'm like, I don't want the world to kick your ass once you leave this house. So I'm going to do it up until that point so you're ready. That's love. I wasn't there to be his friend. I wasn't there to be his cheerleader. I was there to be his mother. And a loving mother is not going to let you believe that everyone's going to give you everything you want. Because they're not. And parenting is another place where you see a lot of codependency. And the children learn manipulation because the parent gives in. And in relationships, the spouse learns manipulation to get what they want. Or they come from a background where they watch that dynamic with their parents or in other relationships. That is not love. Love is not giving in to everything. Love is not giving everything to someone else, especially if you're not getting something in return, because that is just not loving to you, which is why I said that if you don't truly love yourself, then you'll find that every relationship you get into is either short-lived or very unenjoyable, because you've got to have boundaries. You've got to have standards. Like, I am not tolerating this. That is outside my area of acceptable, and you're going to have to either level up or I'm out. And we have a hard time doing that because we don't hurt people's feelings, and you don't want to be rude. You look selfish. It is not selfish to take care of you and make you the priority, because if you don't, especially in relationships that aren't built on a strong foundation, you can give. What are you going to do when that ends? You have nothing left because you gave it all away. It was your choice. Your choice. You made that choice and have to take responsibility for it. Make new decisions. Really weigh things out. Is this loving to me? It is not loving for anyone to ask you to give more than what you have available to share. But people will manipulate, and because of our conditioning, we want to give in, and we feel like we're being a bitch if we say no. And it's like, no, you're not. Because at the end of the day, you've got to have what you need. So it's understanding what love is. I think we fall short in that area so many times because my concept of love was very skewed. We learn it from our parents as children, and if our parents do love us, they're going to put conditions on us. That's our first experience of love, and so we go out into relationships not realizing that, wait, it can't work like that as an adult, and it's not a matter of, you're going to have certain things in relationships that you have to both agree on. How to raise the kids, how to spend money, how to, Is it going to be a monogamous relationship? If you have that expectation, these things should be discussed and you have mutual agreements. But it's not like, I'll love you if. As in, I'll love you if you make sure the house is always clean. I'll love you if you do as much for me as I do for you. Or I'll love you if I get all the money. Or whatever, fill in the blank. And we all have weak spots and places where we want to give in and we think we're helping. But there again, like we talked about yesterday, you can't rescue everyone. Because when you rescue them, you're actually shortchanging them. If you've already learned that lesson, don't take somebody else's. You can help them navigate it. Just like if they were sailing a ship and you knew the route, you could tell them, well, this is what you need to do. Not, let me jump in and do it for you. Or, well, if you need this much money to pay this bill, then looks to me like if you work this many extra hours and cut this expense here, you might be able to go ahead and pull that off. Not, oh, well, here you go. We learn through struggle. We learn through making mistakes. That's how we make better choices. So when you love someone and it hurts, sometimes you gotta let them fall down. And after they fall down, you can help with the roadmap. Don't pick them up and carry them to the destination. That's not love. That's codependency. That's way over investing in someone else's issue. And like I said, there is nothing wrong with standing side by side with someone and walking the journey. But don't carry them. Don't give up what your journey is to co-star in someone else's while you help them at the expense of everything you're doing. That's not loving to you. Love yourself first, because from that love that you give to yourself and setting boundaries, protecting your resources, protecting what you need for you, keep those two coins, because that puts you in a place of stability where you don't have to be anxious. You have confidence. You know that you can take care of what you need to take care of. Never give beyond that, because you have to keep what you need for you to be a foundation, to be an example to the others around you, to have enough to offer a roadmap. Be the star of your own life. Love you first. And then we talked yesterday about family and tribe. Love yourself enough to be selective about the people you let in. Because it only takes one, and here we go, one bad fish to spoil a barrel. Or maybe it's one bad apple. Anyway, don't let spoiled nasty shit in your life. There we go. That's my own original phrase. So, anyway, I hope this helps. It sounds like we're on boundaries this week. Boundaries and self-love. And I gotta say, that is the foundational start of really creating peace in your life. Learning to set good boundaries, understanding what love really is, because sometimes the best thing you can do to love you is to love someone else from a distance, because getting them too close is too damaging, and then you've taken yourself out of play. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. So I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.